What is going on, guys? Tempo Trades. In today's video, we're going to be going over more IFVG setups. If you're new here, this model changed my life. I've tried 10 different models at this point: EMA, support and resistance, order flow, supply and demand. None of them quite worked as consistently as this. So I'm going to show you some payouts in the video, show you the trades and how we did. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we're starting off with an absolute banger on April 1st. This was a 330 point call out on NQ, which to this day remains as my #1 call out of all time in terms of just sheer points alone. Now, I did not catch all 300 points, is simply the call out. Here is my executions. I can move my thing, but there's my executions. I ended up catching 150 points. Should have trailed my stops, but it is what it is. But you could see all this trade really is, if you look to the left here, it's just an Asia low sweep and you're looking for the reversal, okay? If you're new here, again, you need to be taking setups off of these Asia and London ranges. I do this every single day. If you missed last video, I actually have an indicator, which will be in the description. It can automatically map out your London range and your Asia range every single day. And literally all I do is I wait for them to sweep, right? Wait for price to come up here, something like that, sweep, and then take a reversal. And I'm telling you, if you just mesh that in with a couple other things I can teach you, you're gonna have a 70-80% win rate, because it's been like that for the past year. So that's all this trade was. We pretty much just looked for the Asia low to sweep, looked for that IFVG reversal, and then boom, caught that thing to the upside. Crazy trade here. We actually have a better look of that concept here in trade number 2. You know, last trade was an insane 300 point trade. Not every trade's going to be like that. I react to the market. I don't try to predict the market. Okay. I take what the market's going to give me. So in this example, this is only a 60 point winner, but a win is a win, right? You could see price comes up here, right? Goes for a London high. And then now we're expecting reversal. We got that little V, V shape, U shape, whatever you want to call it. We get that little reversal pattern, boom, right into the low for full TP hit. It's just as simple as that, guys. You really don't need to make trading complicated, man. Mark out key levels, wait for those levels to get swept, and take a trade off of that level. Here was just a little throwback. This is kind of unrelated to the day trading, but on April 3rd, the NASDAQ was down 5% in a day off of the tariff stuff. Guys, oh man, I wish I had a time machine. I wish I had a time machine, because, everyone was panicking. There was a lot of fear in the markets, and I did end up buying for my long-term portfolio, but not nearly as much as I should have. And now at the time of recording this, price is back to all-time highs. Just a crazy time. If we go into our third trade here, this was a data high setup. So again, if you are unfamiliar with data high setups, pretty much every single week we will get red folder news. Any of these red folder news events have a chance of creating a data candle, which is basically this funny looking wick here. And what the algorithm does is, once one side of the wick sweeps, it will go for the other side, right? So you can see that here, we swept the low. Now we're expecting price to go and aim for that high. I took a long, and we, scalped a little move up to that. And here was my executions. So this was only like a 30 or 40 point scalp. But again, I'm going to be green regardless. Sometimes I might take a 20 point scalp. Sometimes I might catch a 100 point banger, but you don't expect anything. You just take good setups, and whatever happens, happens. That is the key to profitability. You need to remove your emotions from the outcome, okay? And as I said earlier, this was a $5,000 payout on April 7th from Top Step. I'm currently trading with over 20 prop firm accounts. I'm just using leverage, which is a key, again, to build wealth and just have some massive months. I'm not just trading with one firm. I trade with 5 or 6 firms. I use a copy trader, and I'm able to get some crazy months. So it is working, guys. And not just me. I mean, there's people in the Discord. If I even just scroll over a little bit here and show you the profit channel, like, people are getting payouts, right? We got Clout getting a small payout there. We got SQ payout submitted. So don't take my word for it. I mean, you can ask totally unbiased people here. They're also getting payouts. Sleepy got a payout here too. This is another payout from my man Antonio. So it really does work, man. Here's another trade here, guys, on April 8th, and this is an example of a draw on liquidity play. So I have two main plays, right? Play number one, I'm looking to take a play off of a liquidity level, which if you've seen already in the video, and this is kind of play number two, my backup play. I'm just going for high time frame draw on liquidity. I know price wants to gravitate towards those levels, so I kind of take an IFEG setup or whatever the case may be towards that area. So in this case here, I believe I took this off the order block. We form a 1 minute order block here, and we have previous day high, so I know ES wants to gravitate towards that high. It's just a very, very obvious level. So I go long off of that 1 minute imbalance, and then obviously I'm TPing at the high, and you can see the executions here as well. So that was a really, really nice move. But again, this, in my opinion, is going to have like a 50 to 60% win rate, depending on how you set it up. The liquidity sweeps one is going to have a 70 to 80. So I kind of call these my B setups, and then the liquidity sweeps are my A setups. Here is another setup, guys, where I made $15,435 in one trade. Again, trading just needs to be boring. That's what makes it good. Trading needs to be boring. I'm not sitting here with 100 million confluences on my screen, right? We have the London high. That is a high time frame liquidity area. I'm waiting for that high to get swept. Now I'm looking for that reversal short. Once we get confirmation, I'm entering short on the inverted fair value gap, and then I'm just targeting the opposite ends of the range, right? And we catch, this doesn't really look like much, but this is 170 points. I believe this was just during all of that tariff news, so the market was very, very volatile and moving in absolutely big swings. You can see all of the members hitting this here with me as well, so really big day there. And on April 16th, you can see another drawn liquidity play. So this is kind of an example of my B setup once again. We have the London low, which is a high time frame liquidity level. I'm expecting that to get taken. I find a good sized IFEG with pretty decent bearish momentum. So I'm like, you know what? I think price is going to draw here. This is my time to get in. And it works very, very nicely. I'm just targeting that low, and then full TP gets hit. Here is another example of the data setup. By the way, if you're not familiar, the data setup has the highest win rate out of anything I've taken. We've already talked about, I think the drawn liquidity play has like a 50 or 60% win rate. The liquidity sweeps is like 70 or 80. For me, this is 80 to 90% win rate. You can go back, test it. The data high and data low is my favorite setup. After all of these years of flip-flopping strategies and all my experience, it's absolutely amazing. So looks like right here we had some 10 a.m. news, which created the data candle with 2 wicks on both sides. I simply waited for NQ to sweep the bottom wick and then expected a reversal back to the top end right there. We get a nice V-shape reversal momentum. That's giving me a lot of confidence that price will go for that data high. And what do you know? It does. Full TP gets hit. You know, and here's the call out in the Discord with my premium group. I do live trade these setups every single day with my premium members. If you're interested, again, link is in the bio. And here we go. At the end of April, we got a $25,000 payout from Bullknock. So I don't show all my payouts at this point. Some of them I show, some of them I don't. But here is a $25,000 payout. So just on Twitter alone, we had a $5,000 payout on Top Step and a $25,000 payout on Bullknocks. So April was a really, really, really good month for us. Okay, and last but not least, we have another drawn liquidity play just with really, really good momentum here. So we have the London and Asia high stacked on top of each other up there, right? So I'm expecting price to draw to those liquidity levels. We have a decent sized IFEG with a really good momentum through that gap. So I decide to go long here. And then I'm just targeting those highs. I actually got really, really lucky. I think I talked about this trade before on a separate YouTube video, but I actually had my stop loss break even not touched by 1 tick. That's less than a point. So by 1 tick, my stop loss break even did not get hit. And I believe price went all the way up to my final TP. So sometimes you get lucky in trading, sometimes you get unlucky. My belief is it kind of just balances each other out at the end of the day. I'm not really a big believer in like superstitions or, oh my God, I'm the most unlucky person in the world. Like, good things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen. You need to take the good with the bad and just control what you can control. All right, guys, and final message of the day. Once again, another payout. This time on Take Profit Trader, which gives you daily payouts, which I really, really like. So, you know, I don't remember the exact amount I made in April, but it was probably a little over $50,000. But, you know, here's another payout showing 3 different payouts from 3 different prop firms. And that's really just how powerful this model is, man. It's simple, it's boring, but it changes your life, okay? I highly suggest you try it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave the comments in the comment section down below. And until next time, guys, take it easy. Peace.